What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Silver Gauntlets. Welcome to our coverage of the Standard Tournament qualifiers. This is Season 7 Qualifier 11, and we have a seed for you today. It is Open Deku, and it is, what are we looking at? One Cucco. I'm Tobias. With me on commentary today is SadieSweet. Sadie, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. I just want to say shout out to our hash for having a single chicken so that it's very obvious and everyone remembers that is important. There's going to be something on chicken today. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm enjoying this season. I like these randomized settings. I think it's going to be fun. Although the settings are nice today. This is almost as vanilla as we can get.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's very close to vanilla settings, and here we go for start. It is time. For this qualifier to begin, we have on restream today Tenacious Toad, Alexander Harrold, Hell Knight, and Barbu. All of them runners who have a pretty decent chance of ending up in Challenge Cup or in the main tournament, obviously.
Which is exciting. We always love to see who our potential Challenge Cup people may be. So let's see what our temples are going to be.
Okay.
Forest Temple.
Water, Forest.
Jabu. Fire. And Dodongos.
Water, Forest, Jabu, Fire, and Dodongos. And let's see what our hints are. Toad is about to show that to us again. Hell Knight is already out of the Temple of Time.
Yeah, I think I saw one that was Fire to Morpha. Let's see.
Yep, Fire to Morpha. And Lap Dive is 5 Bomb Chews. Interesting. Especially with the easy access to OoT is Song of Storms. Oh dear. And Zora's Domain is Foolish.
Domain is Foolish. Okay. I don't like that Storms OoT.
No.
I do not like that.
That is a potential all dungeons just for getting something out of the well or out of a storm grotto. That is kind of concerning.
Yeah, especially with Open Deku. I mean, they can kind of go just do Deku whenever they want, and then it's just a matter of worrying about Shadow and Spirit, which could be two very, very nasty stone dungeons.
And Alex has just shown us back of lake hints, and I've only caught one, which was a dupe of the Lake Lab dive hint. If chat caught the other, feel free to tell us.
And the big chest on Hell Knight's side.
And Skull Mask is Iron Boots.
I don't like that.
It's not too bad. It's a Sphere 0 check. That'll also imply that, of course, we have there's very possibly something available on places like, I don't know, Tektite Grotto with those iron boots that early in Logic.
Possibly on the Rudo letter spot.
Nah, not in terms of iron boots. Okay, OGC Foolish was the other lake back hint. Okay.
Yeah, and we're about to get Lon Lon on Barbu's side, taking a little bit of a different route than the others.
Yeah, Barbu has chosen to go Child immediately, and I like it. It's a decent choice. You are getting 2 songs immediately. You're getting a bunch of checks because obviously Deku Tree is open.
Yeah, I think going Child to start is actually a pretty viable option in this run. Also, the one Cucco, you can go get that really quickly.
Also true. And Lens of Truth from Talon.
Okay. Let's keep an eye on that, especially with Requiem of Spirit being in the windmill.
Interesting. That gives us more songs. So yeah, Requiem of Spirit, obviously a warp song that'll lead us straight to the Spirit Temple, but also to another song check as soon as we walk out of the Spirit Temple. Okay, we're also getting
And-
Skullhouse hints here. 40 is dead, and 50 is a piece of heart. Cool. Maximum of 30 skulls today.
And ZL is sitting out on Malin, so I am liking the child run first.
I mean, definitely paying out for Barbu on that side or on that front already, because obviously that gives Barbu access to another song in the graveyard, as well as just in general, like, I mean, you need Zelda's Lullaby to finish the seed. So
Yeah.
knowing that it's available early, that you don't have to worry about it being somewhere late in the game, is pretty significant, pretty significantly helpful as well. Because this could have feasibly been a ZL on Burning Cax seed, with Forest and Jabu being the Forest and Fire medallions, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Zelda's Lullaby and Lens of Truth on Sphere 0 with Storms on all dungeons. Nothing could go wrong with that combination.
Yeah, there's no way. And also, it's fascinating how much our runners have diverged. So we have Alexander Harrold running around in River, getting that hint about Epona's on Burning Cack. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, that is correct. And
Incredible.
Running around I really like the river play. Early river play is such a powerful play. It gets you 3 item checks and 3 hints, which, with hints as powerful as these, definitely worthwhile. So Claim Check is dead, as well as Shadow Pot is a small key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have Tenacious Toad out here getting this song at Colossus, and we have Hell Knight just about to follow him.
Yeah, hot on his heels.
Meanwhile, Barbu's going to show us the first look inside Deku Tree here in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but first of all, we got a Fountain to Baronade hint and a Death Mountain, was it Crater or Trail
yes,
to Phantom Ganon?
Death Mountain Crater.
To Phantom Ganon.
Also, Hookshot? Hookshot on River?
Yes.
Oh. Spicy.
I mean, indeed.
That's either a hovers or being able to get a seed locked, correct?
What do you mean? The archway?
The hookshot.
Oh well, yeah. Logically, being able to get to river at all because you can get it with a chicken. We don't care. We have this. Very nice setup. Gets that jump flawlessly, and that's a hook shot for Alex. And 30 skulls dead as well. This early river play is paying out in spades for Alex.
Yeah, getting that hook shot is you love to see an early hook shot almost as much as you love to see an early bomb bag.
For sure.
And Hell Knight also got a slingshot from Dampe Racing, so Goma and Logic. Not that we care about that. Oh wait, except we.
Well, we don't particularly care. I mean, Deku Tree is nominally not a required dungeon, but it is so check dense that you want to do it anyway. And whether or not Goma is logical, you're just gonna get that check. Frox 2 is dead.
Okay, that's
so
nice
says the Hyrule
information.
Castle hint. Useful. And Helllight is now owl warping back to in front of Hyrule Castle. Is now headed for London Ranch.
Yeah, so Hell Knight's gonna be following in Barbu's tracks, most likely. So far, not seeing anything yet in Deku Tree. Let's see what the basement has for us.
We shall see. Might end up being a foolish dungeon here. Because honestly, so far, Deku Tree hasn't given us anything except a few Skulltulas. Which, hey, useful, but... Oh, magic in Mido's house!
Yeah, Mido's house, on the other hand, freaking stacked.
Yeah, just go to Kokiri Forest and get all your items. apparently.
Yeah, just go to where the items are, y'all. It's not that hard.
Easy. Easy every time. And Zora's Domain still foolish, as Alex just found out. Hammer and magic in Mido's house. Yeah, so for adult, that gives us access to most... You don't say! Kokiri Forest Path to King Dodongo. That tells us a big piece of information. The hammer in Mido's house is our path item to King Dodongo. And that means there is going to be guaranteed a bomb bag in Dodongo's cavern. Or something that leads to a bomb bag.
Is it possible that there could be a bomb bag hiding in fire in the hammer loop?
No, because... Actually, you might... That might be possible.
We do have a hook shot that we have a couple of ways to get to.
Yeah, but it's not in logic yet.
Not in logic yet.
But yeah,
you were just telling me the logic didn't matter on that, because we got it.
Greg! I hadn't seen that the first time. Greg is alive and well in the silo.
Yeah, Greg's nice and safe, cradled by all that hay.
Well, it's Melon's savings, probably.
Hey, there's our Bolero, so we don't even need that hookshot to get to fire.
Cool. Okay, so Toad gets that Bolero from SFM. Fire Temple still path to Morpha. And in fact, the Deku Tree is our, our Goron Ruby, not the Kokiri Emerald. But yeah, we had to guess on the dungeons, on the stone dungeons, obviously.
Yeah, so there was truly nothing inside of
And Spirit Temple is foolish. Oh, wow.
Okay. Interesting.
Burning Cax to Lipona, and that's all she wrote for Sacred Forest Meadowlands. Spirit Temple Foolish is interesting. It tells us that we are looking at almost certainly Spirit Temple being very late in logic, very late in the order of dungeons that the seed expects us to do.
Mm-hmm. Which could mean that we don't have to worry about doing it at all. Could also mean that we have to just blaze through it to get that Song of Storms.
What you do, I mean, you do like to see a foolish Spirit Temple for the fact alone that ideally you find 3 keys as well as the boss key, and are done with it.
Yeah, the quicker you can get out of Spirit, the better, in my opinion.
Indeed. And yeah, Deku Tree wasn't literally foolish. There was a wallet on Goma, gives us access to a Goron tunic. Slight logical implications here, but other than that, we're fine.
Alright, Dampe Digging's got nothing, but Hell Knight is about to show us what songs are on Composer Grave. Yeah, looking around at everyone's items, because a lot of people's paths are starting to converge. It seems like people are starting to follow in each other's footsteps. So we're kind of seeing the items we have to work with right now. And honestly, I would really be going into Fire Temple. I know it's a 3-heart Fire Temple, but I would be going into Fire Temple.
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Prelude and Composers. Where would you be inclined to go?
Fire Temple isn't really the location, like isn't really my favorite location at this point, because up the mountain and into Dodongo's cavern, as well as just Goron City in general, seems to me like the more promising location.
Fair, fair. Going into Dodongo's first, I think, definitely makes sense. I wouldn't put off fire much longer than that, especially if there's not much more than a bomb bag in Dodongo's. Like, I have a good feeling that fire is early in this seed.
Yes, I would agree with that. Especially with the wallet, you can buy a Goron tunic soon. But I'm just looking at where would I want to go next, and that really is just Dodongo's Cavern, just beckoning to me. Or Child Spirit, obviously, once you find some bomb shoes or projectile. Oh wait, we have a projectile. Even better.
We do have projectiles. So, but
yeah,
Spirit
never mind.
Temple's
Child
foolish.
Spirit. Spirit Temple's foolish. Yeah, slipped my mind there for a moment.
Yeah, so DC is kind of our best bet. Just as far as check density, you have to do it anyway. Gubroon, so far the seed is very nice, which makes me kind of suspicious.
Always got to be suspicious of seeds that appear too kind.
Storms is sitting on Ocarina of Time, so that could get nasty. But we also don't know where Nocturne is yet, so... Okay, and Alexander Harrold is going to go get those irons.
Makes sense.
With buying that mask.
Yeah, I just don't want to put them off. You have to do Water Temple anyways, so getting them early just also kind of closes that loop in your mind, closes that open thread. So, sure. And we've also found purple rupees in Mido's house. A shame that Hell Knight didn't wait to pick that up until after getting the wallet from Goma. Yeah.
Yeah. And Toad is just about to take that lens and go do treasure chest minigame.
Sure. Got a few guesses in chat.
I was not even thinking about him heading in here, so
yep.
I forgot to make the call for guesses.
With lens and magic, pretty logical, pretty easy choice to go in here as well. You mop up some child checks before you move out, move back to adult.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to have to come back child until you have to do Jabu.
Ideally.
In a perfect rando world.
And, ooh, big chest. What do we get? There. I mean, sure. We'll take it.
Okay, there's 2 out of 3 slingshots. Cool.
Not necessarily that important. But it tells us that the other slingshot wasn't path.
Yeah?
And also,
yeah,
again...
and Toda needed the child projectile, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a projectile for child spirit still, in case there's a boss key hiding in there, so meh.
Yeah.
Could take it or leave it, but Toad is now headed adult, and probably headed towards the areas that we mentioned before. As you said, Fire Temple is a choice. I would still push for the Dodongo's Cavern and up the mountain in general first. Maybe go Fire Temple after that, because despite the hammer being a likely path item to King Dodongo, in general, just the path hints that we got just means hammer or magic will lock all 3 bomb bags. I'm immediately with the hammer as a potential path item to King Dodongo. I just go to Dodongo's Cavern in my mind immediately, because you have outside Hyrule Castle Ferry is a bomb bag. That's bomb locked. Okay, and there's bomb shoes. Okay, here's your bomb choose and bomb bag. Just have fun. Cool. Thanks,
And
Boulder of
staying
Destiny.
on the Bolero check?
Yeah, sure. So Barbu might be headed back child soon enough to get that bomb back.
And Toad is actually taking my guess and is running into fire first.
Sure. So we got a lot of information just now. There is a bomb-locked bomb bag in Hyrule Castle Ferry. Good information. We also got the bomb choose to be able to get that bomb-locked bomb bag, so that we no longer need to worry about bomb bag logic. Obviously, we need to care about it to make sure that that we read and interpret our path hints correctly, but we have a bomb bag available to us when we need it.
Yeah, so the question becomes, do you take the time to go back, child, to go get that? Or do you hope that you run across one in somewhere like DC, and then just don't have to worry about it?
Barbu has chosen to stay adult. Knows that he has grabbed at least a 10-pack of bomb shoes because the 5-pack of bomb shoes location was hinted. So no immediate need to go and grab that bomb bag, and can probably finish the Dongo's Cavern with that, or very likely finish the Dongo's Cavern with that. So it's probably headed there. We have also already seen all our always hints.
Yeah, we have. Our runners have been very thorough on the hint checking so far, especially with getting like back of lake hints. Also, early boss key is just sitting there in the hammer loop.
Okay. Now, as a runner, you really do want a bomb bag and want to fight Volvagia early here, obviously. Toad is going to check the key under the doormat, but I'm assuming he will not progress further into the dungeon, is my guess. Maybe he will do Big Lava Room as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem terrible to go do Big Lava Room, at least. He has 1 key, 2 keys.
Yep. Okay, so could, in theory, climb. Without beating
If you're
Volvagia.
already here in fire, would you go ahead and try to climb?
Not with 4 hearts. I mean, at least not me. These might. These runners might.
True, true. Would you do it and would they do it are 2 very different questions.
Indeed. Because, skill issue.
And that's why we are in the commentary.
Exactly. So this is definitely a climbable fire temple. But kind of on a hope and a prayer, because obviously you can get bow locked out of here, and you don't have the Scarecrow song set up either. So we'll see how far Toad progresses in here.
Yeah, and Toad has... Part of the reason Toad's here so quickly is Toad hasn't done Deku, which means that Toad doesn't have the wallet to buy, like, a fire tunic.
So nothing on on target minigame.
Yep, and Toad is going to bail and go get the song. Oh, hey.
Hi,
Hey.
Doctor. Sure.
Okay.
We'll take it. Access the Shadow Temple whenever we want. What an enticing prospect.
Well, we're dins away from being able to get in there and at least get up to the hover shack.
The question is, do we want to? It's a stone dungeon. Stone Shadow never has
Yeah.
anything, right?
you know what they say, Tobias. Stone Shadow finds a way.
Anyway, there's another treasure chest game coming up, folks. Get your guesses in chat.
Yes, Alexander Harrold should be showing us.
Stealing that lady's savings, first of all. And skips the treasure chest game. Come on, Alex! You can't do that to restream.
We got our guesses in and everything. Alex will never know that he's missing out on another slingshot. And Rudos?
Hi, Rudo's letter. In Scrub Grotto.
We are a boomerang away.
From getting
From
to do
doing-
Jabu. Yay.
Yay! Everyone's favorite.
And Toad reconfirming that yes, Skull Mask is indeed the Iron Boots.
Yep, just really wants to make sure that's a thing he has to keep up with. And Toad's gonna be the first one to show us some of Goron City.
Adult Goron City, no less. Yeah, I mean, as I said, going up the mountain, checking out Goron City is an enticing prospect here. Bunch of checks. Even in logic, all 3 checks in the maze.
Yeah, I bet Toad runs through these checks and then goes and does DC finally.
Oh, for sure. That being said, what Toad can't do is link the Goron, stop Link the Goron here, and oh, we have one big chest, and Death Mountain Crater still on the path of Phantom Ganon with, well, Minuet is the path item, and there's a fairy bow. Excellent. Well, now you can do one more check. Stop the Goron.
Mm-hmm. We are also a strength away from being able to finish Forest.
Yep, it's all coming together. We're starting to get items for a bunch of dungeons. We know where the bomb bag to... where a bomb bag to complete Dodongo's Cavern is. It's not the logical one. We also know where bomb shoes for that are. Yeah. The hook
I
shot
guess that also means our hook shot is still not in logic.
No, absolutely not. We have no access to bombs, no access to hover boots, and no scale yet. And nothing from Link the Goron, but hey, we've checked it.
Yeah, it's still interesting that Alex is the only one with that hook shot, because no one has found River a appealing play other than Alex so far.
Kinda sucks to be any of the other runners at the moment, yeah, because obviously that hookshot opens up a lot, and it will give Alex a bunch of access into deeper areas of the seed until the others find that hookshot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Alex dips into Forest just to get the first couple of checks,
dear.
with or without that bow.
Hover boots in DC, locked behind hammer.
Oh, okay. So now that hook is in logic.
Yes. No, it's not. Actually, it is. You're right. Hammer is available.
Yes.
So that could be
Volvagia is
a path item.
also in logic.
But yeah, lowering the stairs is not in logic with just the bow. You need a strength or a bomb bag for that. So what Barbu is doing right now is not in logic. Does he care particularly? Nah. What? Deku Tree to Volvagia?
There's no way. Wait!
Wallet!
The wallet!
Yep, we have a path wallet. I love it. Sure. Okay.
Okay. That's
literally
spicy.
the only thing we got in Deku Tree was the wallet. So yeah, this is a path wallet. We have no other way to get a logical Goron tunic.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, burns your Volvagia path. Burn your Volvagia path for a friggin' wallet. Why don't ya? But I mean, you have your hammer.
And it's horrible that Toad, as the person who hasn't done Deku, is the person who gets that hint.
I mean, why is it horrible?
Wait, oh, but Toad does have hammers, so Toad has to realize that that's just gonna be for a Goron tunic, right?
Yeah, he has to. No.
Yeah, okay,
no
okay.
Well, it could be under some circumstances. Oh, hi. Wait a second.
Oh?
Let me finish that thought in a moment. Another bow.
Okay.
So we have seen 2 bomb or hammer-locked bows. So that's not a path item.
Oh, chat's pointing out that the Volv hint could also be for hovers, which luckily Toad is gonna realize here in like 3 minutes that that's not what it is.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is actually great for Toad because maybe Toad will realize that he never has to do Deku. Or at least it looks very much like he never has to do Deku.
I mean, he seems to be of the opinion that that Deku Tree can be postponed, if possible. And OGC foolish was that hint. I see. Well, great.
No strength 3 this run.
There's still path to Phantom Ganon. Yeah, I think we almost have all our hints. We're missing a few sometimes hints, but the always hints are all together. Okay, so what do we know about the seed? We are a strength away from beating Forest. We are a boomerang away from beating Jabu. Fire Temple is within our grasp with the items that we already have. Well, yeah, I mean beating Volvagia at least is within our grasp. Technically, it's not in logic yet because, well, beating Volvagia is, but getting to all of Fire Temple isn't yet. Because we could
yes, it is, because we have a bow. We have
but
our...
we are strength locked out of the top part of Fire Temple. Everything past shortcut.
True. Okay, yeah. Really that strength, I think, is a big question mark in this game right now, because that's what's keeping us from doing Forest, which is keeping us from knowing, like, what the Prelude song is. Not that I think it'll be anything important. Keeping us from finishing Fire if we need to do that. There's a part of water that locks us out of. Because we do need strength for one part of water, right?
The push block check,
The push block, yeah.
Yeah, but
so...
yes, we are surprisingly close to just being able to rush Donjon for a bit, honestly.
Yeah, so the back half of this might be speedy. If there are not any shenanigans, because we are also looking for a boomerang.
Yes,
and, like,
we are.
Boomerang hunts can suck.
Yes, they can. So let's see where this takes us. I'm cautiously optimistic for this seed. So far, I mean, the bomb bag is obviously logical shenanigans. We have no idea where that's hiding yet. Like the logical one. We know there is one just waiting for us on outside Hyrule Castle Ferry.
Which likely one of our runners is going to get and just use that as their bomb bag.
Oh, sure.
Also, I forgot that we actually do have a hint to Baronade, and it is Zora's Fountain.
Yeah, so something leading us to Baronade is in Zora's Fountain, so yeah.
It would be horrible if it's in Icy Waters.
I mean, we have access to our iron boots. It's not
We
all
do.
bad.
But I think only one of our runners is chasing them, if I remember correctly.
We'll
Because I'm not
see.
sure anyone else has gotten their mask yet.
That's true. You obviously hope that your iron boots are DLC and that you don't have to get them. Flare Dancer atop the Fire Temple. It grants a Deku Shield. That is great information. Pierre not needed for Fire Temple today.
All right, HK, I see you. So, HK is going to get Rolling Goron and then probably also head into DC. Has HK done DC yet?
No, he hasn't. I mean, he has the bow but he doesn't have the hovers yet. So no, he hasn't been in DC.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like HK and Alex are going to be the last two into DC.
Yeah. So, Barbu is now exploring some of Dodongo's cavern. Dodongo's cavern of the Fire Temple. Central pillar in Water Temple is a small key. Okay. Good news. That means it's not a required item. Bad news. It has some logical implications. But there is, in theory, a spare key in Water Temple, so shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, our last two path hints that we need to fulfill are that Fountain de Baronnet, but we also still have a item that'll lead us to Morpha here in Fire Temple. With those hovers, and especially because he went ahead and bought a fire tunic, I'm assuming Barbu is gonna go ahead and do Volvaggio when he gets the key here in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's my guess as well.
So hopefully Barbu will be able to show us what that item is, which most likely is going to be our long shot.
Yeah, well, we're getting fire arrows on Hell Knight's side here. Interesting. That is the Crater Fairy. And we know Crater is Path to Phantom Ganon, but I mean, it's 99% sure that was fulfilled by Minuet.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Saria's being nowhere in sight.
True. But yeah, Alex has also just seen, as Shannock points out in chat, Fire to Morpha, and he has Hook and Iron, so he knows where to go for his long shot, most likely. Or something that leads him to his long shot. This seed, I mean, do I want to curse it at this point? Sadie, you be the judge.
I mean, this is looking like a jetty seed. We're 40 minutes in, and we almost have everything we need to just go dungeon rush. I think we can curse it just a little bit.
Okay, this is a jet. Calling it now. Sub 2 hour first finish.
You know what? I would be fine with that. I think that would be appropriate for randomized settings that are this nice, is for us to just have a jet.
True.
Ooh, but Shannock has a spicy thought. What is your spicy thought, Shannock? Fire arrows were in Crater. What if Strength 1 is in Wasteland? You know what? We have hovers and we have a lens. We can do it.
I mean, as I said on commentary for the NA Weekly Qual, Occam's Razor applies, folks. Yes, we can come up with pretty nasty convoluted logic strings that still fulfill our path hints, but 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be the simple answer, and the simple answer for in this case is Fire Temple has a long shot, and the crater path to Phantom Ganon was Minuet. But yes, it is certainly possible.
The other 1 time out of 10 we are going to call Sadie's Razor, and it's whenever fire arrows are hard required for Wasteland.
Sure. That being said, could we have something required like Boomerang and Well? We could.
That could be a thing.
Yep. So Shadow, Deku, and Spirit are our Ocarina of Time dungeons. None of them require a boomerang. So yes, that is absolutely possible.
It would suck, but it could.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and we just have a Volvagia defeat, so let's see if Volvagia has anything for us.
Dead Fire Snake has.
I always felt bad killing Volvagia when I was a kid. Like, I know that she was, like, eating the Gorons or whatever, but...
Made to
what?
She has a bomb bag.
Hey, Rob Dog! hey, Rob Dog!
Can you
What
put
were
the
you just
spoiler book
saying?
away? But yes, that's a logical bomb bag. And that fulfills our Kokiri Forest path to King Dodongo with a logical bomb bag on Volvagia. Sure. Thanks.
Well... okay. What if the long shot's out at Wasteland? It still could
also,
be now.
bomb bag.
We do have a bomb bag. We do have a logical bomb bag.
We have 2 logical
we
bomb
can go
bags
for
now because there was
DC
another
now.
logical bomb bag on
Adult shooting?
Adult Shooting Gallery, yeah. So we know all 3 bomb bag locations, which also means bomb bag is near path item from Volvagia. All are hammer locked. That is true. So the hammer is definitely path to King Dodongo that way. But like there isn't like the hammer itself fulfills the path. There is not a single bomb bag or a single thing that this points to.
Interesting.
So, yeah, but there is something else in Fire Temple to fulfill our path to Morpha. And
yeah.
Barbu is going to check that. Barbu has the Goron tunic and has committed to climbing that temple. Yeah, so none of the bomb bags are part of the path to King Dodongo because they all are equally accessible with a hammer. There's a strength.
And a
Adult
strength?
fishing. Okay, time for Forest Temple for Alex. Well, once he finds that bow in Goron City.
Yeah,
so,
Alex is going to have some great routing with that hookshot in his possession.
Yeah, so chat is almost in no mode. If we assume simple answers to the 2 outstanding paths.
Instead of the Sadie answers to the outstanding paths.
Does that put us in glow mode? Hold a freaking phone.
No, because we still don't, well...
We know, like, if we assume Fountain Path to Baronade is a boomerang, and if we assume Fire Path to Morpha is a long shot,
then yes, then we're glow mode.
Alright, so let's see what those paths actually give us, because that would obviously be very simple answers to those paths.
It would be so funny if the light arrows are in, like, shadow, and that's how Stone Shadow finds a way.
Or Ganondorf just says the light arrows are in bottom of the well.
That would be great.
SadieSweet in her element again. Speaking of light arrows!
Well, okay, fine, whatever.
Never mind.
Boring answers only, I guess.
Wait, did
The
Barbu
seed isn't
not
mean
open?
enough.
Wait, is Toad the first one of our runners to check
Toad...
King Dodongo? I thought
yes,
someone
Toad
else
is the
had done
first...
that.
No, nobody's went back that far.
Okay, well, in that case, yeah, tentatively, if our hints give us simple answers, we are 2 items away from being able to beat this seed.
Yeah, that sub 2 hours is intensifying, Tobias.
We'll see. We'll see what our path hints give us.
Yeah, so assuming simple answers, though, like, what do you think's the fastest anyone's gonna do this seed in? Because there's some weirdness, but not so much that... Like I think someone could do this in an hour and a half.
There are 71 runners in this race. Someone is gonna finish this in an hour and 40 if the answers are simple. Obviously, the moment you see that from your opponents, okay, it's a giant's wallet. That could be your path to Morpha for a Zora tunic. Because small key and central pillar.
No!
If there is a small key on Morpha,
no,
that can be your path item. And it would mean we would have 2 path wallets in this seed.
That is disgusting.
Yes. Quite.
Oh, but there's a big chest
there's
here.
Another big chest, so it's not all is lost. This is just big stabby, though.
Are we gonna have 2 wallets?
I would like not to, but it's possible.
But it would be so funny. It would be so funny, Tobias.
Sadie, let's not. Let's not pretend we did. Okay, so we know Pierre is nothing. We got a hint for that. So yeah. Barbu doesn't need to worry about that. I think Barbu also saw that hint. It was in... we've seen hammer chest as well. Oh no, we've seen a hammer chest hint. We haven't seen a Pierre hint. Sorry.
Interesting. So it could still be Pierre.
That Goron has nothing, not even a key. I think. Barbu is making sure, though. Bomb shoes for Alex. And immediately saving that. Okay.
Good thing you checked. That was a key.
Indeed. That's the last key he needs. We know shortcut was nothing, so let's hope that these last checks aren't all junk, because, like, you then have the choice between a path wallet and a path Pierre.
And neither of those are good, because if you decide that the wallet's your path, you risk leaving behind that Pierre check. But to get the Pierre check, you have to jump through some hoops to go get that Pierre check.
Yep.
It basically comes down to how much do you want to trust that wallet? And I don't think any of our runners want to trust that wallet.
No, nobody wants that wallet to be that path item. Nobody does. But here's another big chest. So is that our path item? Is this our long shot? It's not. It's a strength. That's a potential path item. Strength 2 for something in GTG, maybe?
Yeah, that's an option. But we still have the question of how to get over to GTG, because we don't have a long shot or Eponas.
Well, minor concerns. We have a Requiem, and we can reverse. That being said,
yes.
Barbu clearly hasn't seen the Flare Dancer hint, because he is checking that. Losing a minute or 2 here. That being said, yeah, Barbu is now exactly in this awkward situation where Your path item in fire to Morpha is either your wallet, your strength for a potential strength 2 path, or it is your Pierre check, which you haven't done yet and weren't able to. I think that's also why Barbu is checking highest Goron. Checking Flare Dancer chest here. Because if you haven't grabbed that hint, obviously you will want to know, is that a small key or a junk item?
Mm-hmm.
Because that informs your decision about what Pierre is.
Ooh, Rob Dog's putting out the idea that if that strength is our path, it could be strength 2 to finish spirit to go get into bottom of the well.
Also true, that's also a possibility. Okay, Flare Dancer was a junk item, which confirms Pierre is a key, which means we're done with Fire Temple.
And it's either a wallet or strength 2.
With that
I would
hint,
be more inclined to believe strength 2 to get into bottom of the well.
honestly, with that hint, I would book it to GTG. Because, I mean, Babu has the means to do hookless GTG as soon as I find that second strength in Adult Fishing. Because now you want to know, is it all dungeons or is it just for something in Strength 2 block?
The thing that would make me nervous about rushing GTG is not having a way to get over there with Epona's on Burning Cack. Because I would be less inclined to believe... Oh, wait.
Oh,
we already knew about that hook. We already knew about that hook.
For a moment, that looked like a hook shot in Valley, but never mind. That's
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And I was like, when did we get to Valley? Which, by the way, nobody has done Valley. There could just be something sitting there. Yeah, I'm hesitant about the GTG play with no obvious way on how to logically get there.
I think I understand the hesitation, but at that point, it's less about the logic or finding out the logic for getting to GTG and more about getting information. You want to have the information on whether you just need to do all dungeons, which obviously you want to know that as soon as possible, or whether you want to, or whether it's just for Strength 2 and GTG. So we'll see.
That is fair. That is fair.
Barbu is postponing those worries and is finishing Dodongo's Cavern next. Also, I need to click something on the tracker, clearly.
We also have Alex in being our first one into Forest, so we will get to see if there's anything interesting here. And all of Forest is in Logic at this point, I believe?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So this feels like a good place to be.
Sure.
I mean, as good as Forest can be.
Forest is always excellent thinking time.
All right, and Toad is here in Fountain, going to check this ferry, and is going to find out, is whatever item in Fountain just on the ferry, or are we going to have to go look at, like, Icy Waters?
Icy Waters, check. Something in there. Yeah, it's really difficult to recognize.
Mirror Shield?
Nah.
I think...
It's
Tobias?
something shiny. But it
I
is.
think we have to get Storms and get in the bottom of the well. I think this is an all dungeon seed.
I'm not convinced that this is Mirror Shield, honestly.
I would be less convinced of the Mirror Shield, but if we're already getting some bait with a potential strength 2, I just have vibes. I have vibes.
Sure.
We'll see.
We'll see. There is Mirror Shield. So, whatever's in Icy Waters, it ain't Mirror Shield. Because Hell Knight just fished that out of a fairy fountain. I don't know which one.
Tobias, that was the one that I was just commenting on. That's the one at the fountain.
Oh.
For that path to Baronade.
I see. I thought you were saying Mirror Shield in Icy Waters. Sorry. Misunderstood.
You're good. I mean, we still have the Icy Waters check and we still have the Iceberg check. So those are 2 places where it could still be something, but that Mirror Shield to get into bottom of the well is looking like a potential.
Ugly.
What were you saying about the easiest solutions? I don't think we're getting them.
We'll see.
Oh, Iceberg's dead. Thank you, chat. I actually did not know that we even checked that. I'm interested at Toad's decision to start in on Jabu whenever we have a hint for a Baronade item. So we know that the boomerang's not going to be in here.
That's a good point, yeah. I'm not sure if Toad has seen that hint, though.
Yeah. Toad hasn't, because Toad did not, because the hint is at the Deku Tree, and Toad didn't do the Deku Tree. So that is why Toad is doing Jabu, hoping that the boomerang's in here. Toad doesn't know about the Fountain to Baronade hint.
You would love to have Thoreau's win just about right now.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
It's not in the cards. Anyway, Barbu is the first one to 3 medallions.
Hey, go Barbu! Yeah, so Barbu needs to go river to be able to go do forest. If Alex found a bow in forest, I did not see it and it's not on our sheet. And Thunder, Toad has not been to Open Deku because Toad has decided that Open Deku isn't worth the time.
I mean, at some point you have to commit to the play, right?
Yeah, and Toad's just decided that there have been other avenues to explore, and admittedly, there was nothing in Deku, other than
Except
that
for
wallet.
a path wallet.
Except for a path wallet.
So, time to get that skull mask.
Yeah, going again those iron boots. So I wonder if, especially now that Toad has done the first little bit of Jabu, if Toad is thinking about Icy Waters and thinking about going and checking, like, Ice Cavern.
Good question. I mean, at this point, I don't hate the idea. In any case, Toad is now headed to get those iron boots. So, A might be headed into Water Temple. B might just be interested in whatever was in Icy Waters.
Yeah, see, Chad is mentioning that especially with getting that mirror shield, Toad might be thinking that it's all dungeons, and might go just clear out Deku really fast, especially while he's already child and in this area.
Not a bad choice, especially if you
Not
think
a bad
you can
choice.
go mode Deku. In any case, Alex stealing a kid's lunch money, likely to buy a Goron tunic soon.
And HK is about to get his first strength. Wait, no, it's child fishing. No, don't fishing. HK, no, wrong age.
Well, and also, he's
Rip.
out of money.
Rip.
So many runners seem to be convinced or don't want to even go about setting up here, even if they're in the area.
Yeah, I think HK is at least our second runner to set Pierre. I can't remember who the first one was. I think it was Alex. So HK at least will be able to check Pierre, even though we know that's a key. Or HK doing Child Spirit. Yeah, I think HK is thinking it's all dungeons.
Quite possibly. In any case, happy 1 hour.
Happy 1 hour! This is fun. Isn't this fun, Tobias?
It is. We definitely cursed this seed successfully.
We did. It's all because you said it was going to be a jet, and now it's looking incredibly not jetty.
Yeah, no, all dungeons looms.
All dungeons. I think it's going to happen. Just a really quick shout out while our runners are running over each other. We have some amazing runners today. Tenacious Toad, Alexander Harrold, Hell Knight, and Barbu. Go follow them if you are enjoying their running. They're all great. Shout out to our trackers for making sure we know what the hell is going on. Sidon, Baseball, Shannock, and Baiba. Thank you, you three. For God, I can't do math today. And shout out to me and my co-commentator, Tobias, because Tobias is also restreaming this.
Hello. Anyway, yeah, I do not remember me being the first one to use the J word, though I induced you to do so. I admit that.
You did coax me into it, so.
I take responsibility for that.
Oh, interesting. HK is coming down here and getting this money. I wonder if HK is going to buy a tunic.
Likely. Next runner to grab the skull mask. Alex is now just in Forest Temple. Is gonna chill here for a bit. We'll see if that's going to be anything interesting. Let's see. Hell Knight also on the way to grab that Keaton mask. So working to finish that mask quest.
Yeah, because HK is just going to clear up these market checks. Toad's making his way through Deku. There's nothing in Deku. And Alex not finding much of anything in Forest. I think actually Alex found the last bow in Forest. I feel like I saw that a little bit ago.
I missed that.
chat confirm or deny that? Because I didn't think I saw him get a bow. No, he got the bow out of the GC maze. Thank you, Shannick. And Barbu just cleaning up some child checks. I'm guessing before going adult and doing... Well, Barbu still needs to get hookshot from River.
So much for chat being almost in go mode.
I know, right? We got so hyped up for it, and now it's just a matter of waiting. Especially with the Alex being the one in Forest right now, Alex is going to be able to speed run through just a bunch of stuff. Kind of doing the slowest part right now. It's going to be a matter of whether or not Alex thinks it's all dungeons or not. Because Alex is farthest behind as far as getting medallions.
And there is the Goron Ruby for Toad from Deku Tree.
Rita's letter was sitting on the Lost Woods Scrub Grotto. Which means it was bomb locked, right?
Hammer locked.
Hammer locked, yes.
So yeah, at this point it does look like this is an all dungeon seed, because recapping what we saw the last few minutes, Hell Knight has been in Fountain and has seen all checks. I mean, I had trouble seeing what was in Icy Waters, but I have only a quarter of the screen real estate that he likely has available to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he will most likely have seen what is under the Icy Waters, and he will have concluded that the mirror shield that he found just a few seconds later is indeed his path item. That mirror shield can only be for completing Spirit Temple, because we know Spirit Temple is foolish, and thus can only be a path to Baronade if it's needed to complete all dungeons.
The unfortunate thing about that is that also means we have to do Shadow, and we are missing something very crucial to do Shadow, which is our Din's Fire.
Oh, it'll be in Haunted Wasteland, of course.
Oh, I would kill for it to be in Haunted Wasteland. Are you kidding me? In honor of you
returning to commentary, for sure.
I'm just gonna preemptively. I'm so glad I still have that command. Star, because it's looking very strongly like it is going to be all dungeons. Because we found a mirror shield in the fountain, on the path to Baronade. Assuming there is nothing in Icy Waters, that mirror shield can only be for completing Spirit, because Spirit is foolish.
In other words,
where we're at,
it's all dungeons.
It's all dungeons.
And yeah, as I said earlier, the earlier you know that, the better. You can immediately, of course, adapt your routing and adapt your plans to, yeah, I have to do all 8 dungeons, and Hell Knight needs a refresh. I'll be right back.
That's all right. I can sit here and talk to the crowd. Yeah, I think that was part of why I was really just sort of like going back and forth about whether or not to go to GTG earlier whenever me and Tobias were talking. Because I guess for me, I would want to just go ahead and commit to speeding through spirit as quickly as possible, and hoping that you find Dins along the way somewhere.
Okay, it's a Hylian shield in icy waters. It was a
So
shield. It just wasn't a mirror shield.
So confirmation, we have to do all dungeons.
Yeah.
We're doing all dungeons, folks. Yay! Who wants to guess where Dins is gonna be?
In the seed.
I think that Dins is not in Wasteland. I would also be happy if Dins was in Valley, just for me. That's where I want Dins today.
I would say it's gonna be in GTG somewhere. Maybe in the toilet.
I was about to say it could be in the toilet. We just got a scale in Forest, and we have our irons. Thank you, Melons, for reminding people. Oh, okay, yep. So everyone has their hookshot. Everyone has their hookshot now.
Indeed.
Remember when we thought that there would be a runner done at 1 hour and 40 minutes, Tobias?
Yeah, didn't pan out this way.
Nope, and instead we have Toad in Ice Cavern right now. And yeah, Shannick is pointing out that because we know that Rang is locked behind storms, Epona's is also storms locked because of Jabu being our fire medallion.
Whee!
So the only way to GTG now is for us to find our long shot.
Actually, wait, do we know that? There is still a song in Temple of Time that we haven't heard yet, or haven't seen yet.
We know that Epona's is on Burning Cack.
Oh, true.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know what song's in Ice, and we don't know what song's in on Prelude Check. Also, big chest here in Ice Cavern. Could be something.
It's a third bow. Third bow, Ice Cavern map chest. So locked behind Rudo's Letter and Zelda's Lullaby or Hover Boots. Sorry, Zelda's Lullaby, because we haven't seen a scale in this seed. Actually, we have.
We did see one. One is in Forest Temple in the chessboard room.
I see. Yeah, when Forest Temple is on restream, I somehow kind of the quadrant disappears sometimes. My mind just puts white noise over
it. Monty, I think that is gonna be
There's Dins!
Oh, wait, what? What?
Freestanding in Ice Cavern.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're doing Shadow Temple next. And there's another big chest in here. Just go to Ice Cavern, Forehead!
Okay. Okay.
Nothing useful on Phantom Cannon, and okay, big chest is nothing. It's just a Stone of Agony. We have Din's Fire from Ice Cavern.
Alex just finished Forest. Barbu's just starting Forest. HK is about to get that strength.
We appreciate the setup of, or the coordination of not having to suffer through double Forest.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I mean, at least it's not Sextuple Forest with 4 players on restream. Which
at least
someone in
it's
chat...
not me. At least it's not me dying in Forest Temple 20 times because Phantom Ganon hates me.
No comment. But yeah, no.
We're fine. We're fine.
Someone in this chat has had the pleasure of restreaming a race before that had 4 players on restream, and yet we saw 6 forest temples.
And someone in the commentators booth got to commentate that for like her second stream ever.
Oh, yikes. Poor Sadie.
Oh, Forest Temple and I go way back. And HK's got our strength now.
Cool.
Nobody has strength 2 yet, do we?
No.
Interesting.
But we do know of 2 strengths. It's on Adult Fishing and it's on Fire Temple Compass. Barbu,
yeah.
I think, is the only one who actually fully climbed Fire Temple so far. And
this could be a long seed, especially with HK's already done Fire. Toad hasn't, but Toad also hasn't gone adult fishing yet. Alex is hopefully going to get it if he goes deeper Fire, which he might not. Except Fire is Path to Morpha, so he should.
Okay, so this is Hell Knight heading into Fire Temple. I think he's also going to. I think he's seen the path. I think he has seen the path hint, so he will likewise beat Volvagia and return for a deeper look into Fire Temple. Yay!
Yeah, according to HK's tracker, he's already beaten Fire, so this should just be clearing out checks.
Yep, you're right. Obviously. Meanwhile, Alex is about to fight Volvagia, and Toad is also headed back into Fire Temple.
So instead of getting quadruple forest, we're getting triple fire, which honestly I'm here for. I like fire.
Yep. Technique-wise challenging, and I mean it drags on sometimes, but what can you do?
I hand drew a map of Fire Temple so that I could memorize where everything was, and it was insane. The maps in Fire Temple are a lot to try to navigate.
Indeed.
It's an interestingly assembled dungeon.
Yeah. So Melon's in chat suggesting Longshot on Pierre would pop the seed off. While that's true, unfortunately not in the cards today. We're missing a key in Fire Temple, and Pierre is the only place we haven't checked.
Yes. Yep, so we know that the 2 big things to get here, well, big air quotes, are another wallet and a strength. One of those things is more important than the other. Hint, it's not the wallet.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see all the fire truthers in chat. I'm really glad we're all on the same page that fire is better than trees. So now we all get to wait while our runners walk over the same things that they've done before. At this point, it's just a matter of our runners getting into Shadow and Spirit so that we can start figuring out where that boomerang is, which is probably just sitting in the bottom of the well. And then hopefully we can find our hook shot down there as well, our long shot down there. But it could not be.
You are correct. It's just, At the moment, there's not much new, not many new things to comment on for us commentators.
Yeah, we just get to enjoy watching our runners find their stuff.
Yep. So let's recap a bit. Earlier on, we thought this seed was a jet.
We did.
We saw quite a few items early on. We got both Hammer and Magic in Mido's house. Both of them could have been a path to King Dodongo. I assumed that meant that there was a bomb bag locked behind that hammer in Dodongo's cavern. That turned out not to be the case. The hammer itself was the path item because all 3 bomb bags were locked behind the hammer in some way. We also saw a strength on adult fishing. And a second strength on Fire Temple Compass. So far, none of the runners have seen both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alex might be the first one on Restream to actually reach both strengths. Or Hell Knight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a matter of who gets up to the compass chest first.
That depends on if Alex skips Pierre, I think.
Yeah, because HK is going ahead and checking Pierre now.
Mm-hmm. Our bows were also all kind of locked behind Hammer in that one was in Goron City Maze, one was in DMT Wall, and one was in Ice Cavern.
Mm-hmm.
With Rudo's letter being itself in the Lostwood Scrub Squad, also locked behind Hammer or bombs. So locked behind Hammer. This entire seed basically got locked away behind the hammer. And it is good that the runners weren't really duped by getting a Kokiri Forest's path to Volvagia hint. Instead got a Kokiri Forest's path to King Dodongo hint, which kind of at least set off their shenanigans sensor. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, luckily, F for Toad, but does have a fairy. Yeah, this has been an interesting seed because I don't think that there's been anything super baity other than, I mean, the wallets have been annoying, but at least it's obvious what the wallets have been for.
Indeed. And we also had a path wallet. We don't want to forget about that. Deku Tree path to Volvagia for that wallet on Goma. We also... So, why did we think this was a jet? We had path hints pointing us to Fountain being path to Baronade and Fire being path to Morpha. And before we knew what those path hints were actually about, before these path hints were kind of resolved, there were exactly 2 items that we were missing for Go mode, actually, and that was a long shot and a boomerang. But it turns out it's all dungeons. It's all dungeons for completing for completing for getting something out of a Stormslog check.
Yeah, because we do have storms on OOT, which HK has those silver gauntlets. Woo!
So if you got them, spam them in chat.
Yeah, so there's definitely something in bottom of the well. Whether or not we will find both of our items in bottom of the well is a different story. I can see it very possibly being like long shot in the bottom of the well, and then you have to go to GTG to get your boomerang or something insane. And then we literally will have seen all dungeons.
Plus World Tour.
And a world tour. Yeah, that would be pretty fun. But at this point, we're not going to get a lot of like new information until our runners are able to do Shadow and do Spirit and get into bottom of the well.
Yep.
Or another Storm's Lock checked.
Yep.
Personally, I like the Kokiri Forest Storms Grotto.
Just to make Kokiri Forest more stacked?
Yeah.
You already have Hammer and Magic in there.
I think the more items in Kokiri Forest, the better. Yeah, and Shannick's pointing out that the only runner who has found Dins, so the only runner who can get into Shadow is also the only runner that has not found either Strength, because Toad took a very different route than I think any of our other runners. Toad was the last one into Deku, which means Toad was the last one to get the Fountain de Baronade hint. So Toad also has not gone river. Wait, no, Toad has gone river.
He does have his
But Toad
shot.
has not. Yeah. Toad started fire, but hasn't climbed to the compass. So got the wallet and then bailed.
Indeed. So
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately not something I mean, when is Toad going to go back for that is the problem.
Ooh, the problem is that especially with getting a scale here in Forest, I think Toad might be more inclined to dip into fire or dip into water before ever going back to fire.
It's silver gauntlets for Alexander Harrold, and yeah, I unfortunately agree. I unfortunately think you're right here. Anyway, that's Barbu done with Forest Temple. Has successfully seen the little Deku seedling.
Yeah, Barbu, I've been really impressed. I think this is the first game of Barbus that I've watched or that I can remember. But they've been making really, really good time.
Oh, absolutely.
And are currently our runner that is the furthest ahead as far as medallion count. The question is, which strength is Barbu missing? Is it adult fishing or is it the fire temple?
I think it is the adult fishing one. He has definitely seen the fire temple strength.
Okay, thank you, Lucid Dream, and thank you, Tobias. Okay, so that might be a check that Barbu doesn't do for a while, admittedly.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when he goes back for that. But again, as you said, he's making good time, so we'll see. I'm interested to see when he makes that choice.
Yeah.
It is not the most attractive choice, having to climb Fire Temple all the way back up.
Yeah, especially with because Barbu's going to get Dins and is going to be able to go do Shadow next.
Yeah, and
If
it looks
Barbu
like,
is assuming, I mean, Barbu's going to know that Mirror Shield is path here right now.
yeah, he knows the Mirror Shield is path. He is now recognized what is underneath those icy waters. Again, it's just a Hylian shield. Not relevant for him at this point. But Toad is the first one into Water Temple, as you predicted.
Yep. So let's see where Boss Key is. Because that'll let Toad know whether or not Central Pillar is hard required.
I think it's less about boss key and more really about is Morpha a key.
True,
Right.
yes.
And logically required, because we know Central Pillar is a small key. And that's the third scale on restream for Hell Knight. So it really is a matter of, does the game think you logically need a Zora tunic for this? And what does that imply to you? Oh! I did not actually know that you can just turn all of these spike balls off by using a Deku Nut. That is information to file away for a later date.
Deku Nuts continue to be the most useful item that none of us used when we first played this game.
Oh, they are so overpowered. That's a good jump over to Cracked Wall here from Tenacious Toad. I think that's his second small key.
I think that is, yes.
He's just gonna clear as much as he can of Water Temple at this point. Oh, who knows? Maybe there's a long shot just hidden here, but unlikely at this point.
Would be funny.
Yeah, but it is possible though. Like, we know it's all dungeons, but we don't know where that long shot or where that boomerang is hiding. It makes sense for that boomerang to be in well with the dungeon layout. Or in a Stormslog check, rather. Longshot can literally be anywhere. Ah, it doesn't quite get that back walk on the first try.
Yeah, hunting down that long shot could wind up being nasty.
Oh no, did Toad just save? Oh.
Yes. Toad, what you doing?
Toad saved after the door. He gets to pick up another small key. Yeah, he did. He forgot to save before using the first key. Was just hyped from getting that trick right, I bet. But there's your boss key, so don't worry. Never mind, you're gonna keep it anyway. Saved by item locations.
Never punished. And Alex becomes the last one on restream to get his light arrows.
Oh, junk item behind there.
And Alex has beaten King Dodongo.
Yes, which gets him his fourth medallion as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Alex is probably going to chase after... Wait. Did
Waiting.
Alex never find Rudo's letter? Is that what I'm seeing?
Rudo's letter was in Lost Wood Scrub Grotto. I think he must have gotten it, but I'm not sure.
Hey, trackers, can you confirm that Alex never got Rudo's letter? Because that's interesting. And unfortunate. I mean, I'm sure Alex will get it pretty quick. But especially with Alex needing to get into ice, that's unfortunate to not have that yet.
True.
I mean,
anyway,
you can still get into ice, but...
End of the road for Toad for the moment. It is, he is locked out of Water Temple without... Or he chooses to be locked out of Water Temple, I guess. He didn't want to go for Dragon Chest in the hopes that that is a small key. And we are seeing the first few checks of Shadow Temple from Barbu. Interesting. Actually, first few checks? Never mind. I think we're seeing the entirety of Shadow Temple from Barbu here.
Yes, Barbu being the first one to show a Shadow Temple. It would be interesting if Barbu got bailed by a second strength, or our third strength here in Shadow. That would be fun. So Toad is out in the overworld clearing up some checks because Toad still does not have any strength, which means Toad cannot go do Forest Temple. And kind of can't do a lot more progression. Well, are pushing those blocks in ice strength locked?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay. So, could go do ice, Toad.
But he's going Shadow instead, sorry. Technically, he requires a strength to beat this too. But with the backflip trick in the Crusher room, I think that's not necessary.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think a strength and shadow is kind of more of a suggestion than hard required.
Yes, VX. The mirror shield is 100% path.
Yes.
We have, and indeed, we do have Foolish Stone Spirit.
Yep. We also potentially had 2 wallets as path.
One of them
two
was
different
actually
dungeons.
path.
One of them was definitely path, and one of them was maybe path, but we also found strength 2 there, and that's a more likely path. throwing in the seed, Tobias. Scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate this seed?
Much worse than I would have rated it half an hour ago, honestly.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this, and again, it's not like the logic is super hard, but it just seems annoying.
Yeah. Again, this could have been super jetty if those last two paths were just a little bit simpler. But instead we have a we have an all dungeons slog ahead of us. We have all items. We have seen all items in Zora's Fountain. Sorry. So the mirror shield in here is the only item that could potentially be path, and that just means, yeah, it's all dungeons for beating Spirit Temple to get you Song of Storms. At least it tells you, though. Thank you, Shannon. Alex does indeed not have rules there.
Thank you. Incredible. When does Alex go back for that?
That's a really good question, actually.
Especially now that he has flip-kicked his way into ice.
I mean, he knows. I mean, he knows he needs it at some point, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Lostwood's grotto is one of those kind of isolated checks if you leave it behind for too long.
Yeah, I guess the time that I would suspect he gets it is when he goes child to do bottom of the well. Which would be a great time for him to get it. But if he's going to get it, that's going to be the time. Oh, and Alex isn't doing ice. Oh, no.
Well, we're not seeing Dins too soon here, but it does make sense to push progression dungeons as well here. And unfortunately, Foolish Stone Spirit is a progression dungeon.
And actually, Baseball pointed out, Alex doesn't have a bottle because Alex hasn't found Rudos. So Alex can't do ice. I find this very interesting considering, like, we were talking very early in this race what an advantage Alex had for going river so freaking early and getting that hook so freaking early. But now, like by missing that bottle in Lost Woods, it's just kind of messing up his routing in this back half.
Yeah, he kind of gets pigeonholed here into because he doesn't have his bottle. That being said, I think bottles could be foolish locations in theory. Not quite sure about that.
Yeah. The question is Alex gonna open anything or find one?
Small key behind that gate. We do need it. Yeah, and Toad is making good progress to Shadow Temple. Meanwhile, Barbu is already at the Invisible Spikes room. Is done with the better part of Shadow Temple. Well, I guess about at the halfway point, thanks to that boat ride.
And HK is checking out water. Alex went child and is going back adult? Alex, what you thinking?
The Spirit Temple Foolish hint was in Sacred Forest Meadow. I think they've all seen it.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like Alex at this point is struggling a little bit to think of what he's missed.
Sets time of day. That much we know. And then he's headed for... Oh, back child, I see. Is he thinking Danpei time?
Yeah, he might be thinking Danpei digging. This... Jeez, what else has he not done? I guess with Saria's in hand, you could go do Darunia's dance. You could go back to Lost Woods and also get the grotto on the way. So that this could be the time that Alex is going to get that Rudos.
We'll see.
All right, so Alex is going to do the night market checks. I'm guessing also doing treasure chest game because I don't think Alex has done it yet.
I'm going to assume he's just mopping up child checks at this point.
Yeah. So hopefully it doesn't walk by that grotto.
Here's the thing though, that's not technically a child check. So we'll see. Anyway, time for treasure chest game number 3 on restream. And left, I'm still in.
I'm still in as well.
Oh, one of us two is going to lose in the next round.
Okay, let's see.
I'm still in.
Ah! Come on, Tobias, make it happen.
I mean, let's see. The last two. Oh, it's a 1 and 2.
Come on, Tobias.
Does that mean I owe chat some subs again? Yes, it does.
It looks like you might owe chat some subs, Tobias.
Oops. Oh well.
Tobias got it right with left, 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 right, right. And that gets us a boat ride on Barbu's side. So, Toad and Barbu still making their way through Shadow. Hell Knight. Hell Knight, where are you headed? And thank you for your gift sub, Tobias.
Very welcome. I mean, I guess Arcane Onion got it 100% wrong. So
Hey!
Normally I say if someone gets it right, they get a sub, but I guess they owe chat a gift sub as well now? I don't think that's how it works, but we'll see.
So at this point, who do you think is gonna finish first? Because it's kind of looking like Barbu.
At this point, that seems pretty likely, and there's a bottle in Shadow Temple.
Okay.
Is that going to help Toad in any way? Actually, no, so is that going to help Alex in any way if he ever makes it to Shadow Temple? No, it's not.
No, because Alex has to go into ice with a bottle to get that bottle. That is a bottle-locked bottle as of right now. Okay, here we go. Alex is going to get that
his Rudos letter. Cool. The Scrub Grotto wasn't forgotten. It was all part of the plan. Meanwhile, we have our first drummer battle.
Let's get this sick beats going for Barbu. Toad's gonna be right on his heels.
Oh, good shooting.
Yeah, I think it was on the last qualifiers that there were some nasty Bongo Bongo fights. Bongo Bongo was not nice.
He really wasn't. Okay, nothing in Spike Trap room for Toad. He just leaves, and one more check for him before he fights Bongo as well.
Toffle, the strengths are on adult fishing and the Fire Temple Compass chest, which unfortunately Toad veiled out of fire before getting there. Because Fire's path to Morpha, Fire also had a wallet, and we know that there is a small key in Central Pillar, and there has already been one wallet for a tunic in this seed. So hopefully Toad goes back for that. Wayfaring Fox, that's a great question. Because instead, this seed decided to give us at least one, if not two, wallet path hints instead of anything useful, like a strength 1 hint.
We definitely got a hammer is path to everything hint, though, so...
Hammer is path to everything, yeah. So if you just go do all the hammer checks, eventually you'll find a strength. And there's Toad, done with Shadow Temple, and now on a strength hunt.
And Barbu is now checking 10 and 20 skulls. Collected those unhinted and unfortunately was not rewarded for them.
Yeah, Alex is going to go turn in that Runa's letter and then probably realize pretty quickly that he needs to go back to ice with that bottle. Not a lot of other options for him at this point. Guess could go Spirit.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, you could... Going Spirit is actually an option. It is progression. And it's doable for him. He has all that he needs.
You do need to do Child Spirit for your first key, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, another reason to go Child then.
Yeah. So hopefully...
I think we might have lost Sadie.
I got distracted because I'm trying to remember who has done what, because all of our runners are in slightly different locations. Because who was our one runner that's gone child spirit? Was that Hell Knight?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I think Hell Knight's the only one that's done child spirit. Hell Knight is also our only runner. Well, no, actually, that's not true because Hell Knight still has to do Ice Cavern to get dens. I do love that our 2 runners who could do Shadow Temple can't do Spirit Temple, and our 2 runners who can do Spirit Temple can't do Shadow Temple. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. And Alex is now the second runner to prep Jabu, basically.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. I'm a little nervous about Toad's chances of finding those strengths, because Toad's... I'm going to be interested to see if Toad reverses all the way to GTG without any strengths. Yep. Yep.
Ooh, that'd suck. It sucks. Yup, it sucks.
Oh. At least we'll get to see what Wasteland is. It'd be really funny if third strength was in there. So, Shannick, the hard thing about Toad looking into Strength 3 is that Toad would still have to either go do adult fishing, which he could after getting locked out of GTG, or go back to Fire Temple and make it to the Compass Chest, which is really unappealing after you've left Fire Temple for this long. Definitely adult fishing before coming back to fire. It's just a matter of when. Did Toad set Scarecrow? I'm actually not sure if Toad set Scarecrow. I know Hell Knight and I'm pretty sure Alex did. But I don't think Toad did. Because I'm not sure that Toad's even been down to Lake Hylia. Yeah, Toad walked right by adult fishing. Oh, right, because Toad did dip water. See, Chad, this is why I have all of you and our beautiful note sheet.
Yes, indeed. Funny Frogsy, was that Gerudo always there? No, that is added in the randomizer. If any, no, actually at this point it's always added in the randomizer. It used to be it's only added, or that Gerudo woman on the other side of the gate is only added when entrance randomizer in any form was active, including like random spawns or random warp songs. But at this point, it's just added all the time to make it more convenient to reverse to Gerudo Training Ground, or to make it possible even to reverse to Gerudo Training Ground without ever actually setting foot into Gerudo Fortress from the normal way round.
Yeah, nice little quality of life. And hey, big chest right off the bat.
And with neighbor's love. Well,
Okay, that's nothing.
there's your third slingshot in the valley. Technically, valley not foolish, Sadie.
Technically, not foolish.
Valley Lakers rejoice? Question mark?
We'll really rejoice if there's something like a strength in the waterfall, which there isn't. It's nothing.
Yep. But there's a strength.
Oh! Oh!
That's a bailout for Toad.
Okay, so now Toad just needs to go do adult fishing. Come on, Toad!
He's never climbing up back to fire to the top of Fire Temple. You can forget about that. But he might do adult fishing at some point.
Yeah, so Toad is back in this race.
Nothing in the maze. Except a bunch of keys.
Yeah, I really hope Toad doesn't have a lot more checks. Actually, because Toad has not had that strength and has not done forest, Toad actually can't do toilet. Because, no scale.
You don't need a scale, you need iron boots for that.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, wait. And it does have the iron boots. Okay, so you could go do toilet. Although, God, now that I said that out loud, I did not put together that Toad still has to do forest.
Yeah. That's a 15-minute time addition still. Anyways, happy 2 hours. I did not expect actually for us to make it to 2 hours without a single finisher, but that was before we saw that it's all dungeons.
Yeah, it has. Phew. These 2 hours feel like they kind of zoomed by, even with us getting baited out of a jet seed.
Well, time flies when you're having fun and spending it with people you like. So these 2 hours were rather pleasant to me. So
they have been wonderful to me as well. So as a reminder, go follow our runners if you're enjoying them today. Toad, Alex, Hell Knight, and Barbu are all fantastic. Shout out to our trackers for continuing to do, the hard work. Sidon, Baseball, Shannick, and Veva. And shout out to me and Tobias for being here talking to you all.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to you, Chad, for following along. Literally wouldn't be doing this without you.
Yeah, if it was just ourselves talking in like an empty room, that wouldn't be fun. Well, it could be fun. We can make our own fun.
Indeed.
But it's more fun with you, chat.
The fact that the OOTR community can make their own fun has been amply proven. Most recently, most recently via an impromptu Smash tournament happening outside on the patio of a hotel on someone's CRT that they brought. So yeah,
jealousy.
Shoutouts to Vidya James for organizing that one.
And that's how we have fun, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is in Water Temple and is gonna get the news that there's no long shot here.
There might be. We've never seen Darklink Loop.
True. Would be kind of funny.
And we have also heard news from Shannock that Central Pillar Key is indeed logically required. Wait, that means we have a second path wallet.
That does mean we have a second path wallet.
Well, not necessarily, depending on where Zora Tunic is, but it is likely.
Yeah, given that we have not seen a single t-shirt except the one on our backs. And Toad is leaving. GTG, please, Toad, go to Lake Hylia from here. Which I think he will. All right, Barbu has those silvers and now is in a great position to go do Spirit. Which means Barbu is going to be the first one to get storms.
And I think he did do Child Spirit already, right? He grabbed his first key?
I think so, yes. Because I think Hell Knight and Barbu were the two that did Child Spirit.
All right. And because it was asked in chat, no, reversing through Haunted Wasteland is not in Logic. That is too difficult a trick to ever put in Logic for a tournament.
Oh, Barbu has not done Child Spirit, so
no keys.
That sucks.
Well, he'll be back.
The amount of age switching this seed requires is pretty freaking annoying.
Yeah, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth you go. And I bring news from Tenacious Toad. He has chosen not to go to Lake Hylia and do adult fishing.
I get it. You have that strength. You still have to do forest. Go do forest. And this will give Toad some time to think about his choices and where to go next. And hopefully he gets our vibes and hears us screaming, go do Lake Hylia.
Yep. That being said, Alex is doing the Darklink loop before lowering the water.
Ooh.
So
let's see if there's long shot.
That'd be hilarious.
We'll see.
There's 2 checks here, 3 checks that we haven't seen yet. Imagine vanilla long shot. There is a world.
Yeah, and I think that that's plausible.
Meanwhile, Barbu has gotten the bad news that Child Spirit is required and is now headed back out there as a kid.
Yeah, so at this point, Barbu's on the way to most likely being our first finisher.
On restream.
On
because
restream.
Obviously, we have no clue what the other runners in this qual are doing.
Yes. Didn't you say it's like 70 people in this qual?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so in our restream, Barbu is looking like he's going to be the first one done. And then I'm suspecting Hell Knight's going to be pretty close behind him.
We'll see how it goes. These two certainly have a shot. Barbu definitely has the advantage here with already having done Shadow Temple, which is just a 14-minute time investment that you need to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hell Knight's not going to have to worry about going back Child because he's already done Child Spirit.
Oh, is that a big chest I spy on River Chest? Did I see that right?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Hello. What are you? Shiny object? Not great, not terrible.
It's a thing. I'm not sure how useful that is to Alex at this point.
Munchie, we live in this world. This is exactly the world. Like, need 4 keys for water? No, you never hard need more than 2 keys for water. Depending on item layout, that is. Because the boss key is on the boss key chest. In this case, indeed, Alex grabs another 2 keys here. And had the heads-up idea that, hey, if I Furor's Wind right now, I've not gone through a single door, I can go back up top to the top of the river and get the key that was behind Darklink.
That's actually pretty nice, and yeah, immediately that Furor's Wind is proving useful. And oh no, looks like Alex is going to go follow in Toad's footsteps and possibly reverse.
Or not. Has made
Or
a
not?
different call, goes into Spirit Temple here.
Equipping those fire arrows, though, screams checking Wasteland.
He was thinking about it. For sure he was.
He was thinking about it. And I think that once he gets... Well, but Alex did do Child, so Alex has a key. Yes, Thunder. All runners should, at this point, know that's all dungeons. They know that Mirror Shield is the path to Baronade for Fountain, and since Spirit is foolish, the only thing that can be for is all dungeons.
Correct. And, wow. Alex and Barbu basically frame perfect in sync here. Except, of course, Barbu is a Shadow Temple ahead.
Yes. But they are following in each other's footsteps quite literally. Meanwhile, Hell Knight is in Shadow Temple, and Toad is finally getting to do Forest. And then we will never have to see Forest on Restream again.
For today.
For today.
There's a scale for Toad, and Alex is methodically clearing up Spirit Temple. Obviously, he knows it's foolish. He knows that all he needs is the boss key and one more small key, which he just found. So he'll be out of here. He will be hookshotting straight back across to the adult side, and will beeline to Twin Rover.
Mm-hmm. Also, yes, Deadly Thunder. We actually found Strength 3. It's in GTG, and that is the strength that Toad has. So we need Toad to either go do Adult Fixing or go back into Fire Temple to get Strength 2.
Correct. Adult fishing is kind of out of the way. The top of Fire Temple, very out of the way.
Yeah, neither one of those are really locations you want to have to go.
But it's what the seed has decided you have to do today.
I love watching Alex and Barbu just sort of like trade off who's ahead, who's behind, like every other room.
Yeah, by literal frames sometimes.
Literal frames. Yeah, so after finishing Spirit, Alex has the unfortunate task of going to Ice Cavern to get Dens before he can kind of go get Storms and hopefully enter the end game. But as soon as Barbu's done with Spirit, Barbu's going to finally be able to show us what's actually in bottom of the well. And at this point, I'm suspecting it's going to be both our boomerang and our long shot.
That's quite likely, yeah, at this point. Or if the seed wants to be very funny, it'll have the long shot locked behind strength 2 in GTG at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's possible. If our boomerang's in bottom of the well, we get Eponas off of Burning Cack, then yeah, logically, we can go to GTG.
Whee! Yay!
Hooray! We love terrible logic.
But yeah, the puzzle is more or less solved, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of seeing who gathers all of the pieces and goes and gets some bacon. Ooh, Barbu missing shield on Twinrova and got iced.
Well,
Yeah, Twinrova's being very trolly on Barbu's side.
That's true. I would like to point out, Toad is about to be done Forest Temple, and is the second one on Restream to reach 4 medallions and 2 stones, most likely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mostly followed by Alex, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Toad and Alex are in a similar position where both of them have something the other person wants.
See, that's what economists call an opportunity.
Yeah, if they just combined their inventories together, they could just split the win. No, that's not how randomizers work. Not unless you're playing a multi-world.
Speaking of, that's also a tournament that's going on.
Yes, it is. And we got permission to restream some matches, isn't that correct?
It is. I'm gonna have to have a closer look at this week to see what's on the schedule and where we might get a restream on.
Yeah, so if you like multi-world, keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, we have one other qualifier that we're going to be restreaming next week.
Yep, that's qualifier number 15.
And I'm going to be our restreamer. It's going to be fun.
We should probably talk about how to set this up.
Yeah, it would be awesome to you know, get my season 7 restreaming legs under me.
Good plan. Anyway, that is Barbu done with Spirit Temple, has done the 3 stone dungeons, and is now headed child to pick up Song of Storms and to see what the heck this seed has been hiding in the well from us.
It would be so funny if nothing's in the well and it's literally one of the other Storms checks. Hey, I have a question. We haven't gotten a hint about Frogs 1, right?
No, we haven't. That is also a Storms check.
Cool. Unfortunately, Tenacious Toad is in Lake Hylia as a child. But is going to Pierre, so I do wonder if this means that Toad's thinking about going back into fire.
I mean, he's doing child fishing. Obviously, that will put adult fishing in his mind, so we will see what that does to him. I don't expect him to go back into fire over doing adult fishing. There's the Ocarina of Time for Barbu. And there's Song of Storms.
All right, let's see where our progression is so we can finish this seed.
First, bottom of the well, obviously, because that is by far the biggest density of Stormstalk chicks.
Alex is also reversing, which means, unfortunately, Alex is going to do GTG before going back to ice. Shannock, at this point, the only things that... No, actually, I think at this point, everything might be Storm's locked, Shannock. Because Storms is going to get us wherever our boomerang is, and we have to get our boomerang if we want to get Eponas. So if we don't find a long shot in any of these checks, we have to get Eponas to basically get over to GTG to the silver block room, is what I'm suspecting. Or to get over to HBA. It could be HBA. But basically at this point, everything we could check is Storm's locked.
So let's see. That was a bottle as the first large chest in bottom of the well. So let's have a look at what else the seed has prepared for us here. Randobot did us a solid today, that's for sure.
Baseball did point out that that's another bottle-locked bottle. It's really looking like our Rudo Slutter bottle is kind of our only available bottle to do ice with.
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. That's a big gold rupee that we don't need anymore.
Alex confirming hammer rocks are nothing. And going back into... No, this has to be... This has to be a quick... It has to be a quicker way to get to ice.
Yeah, it is the quickest way to get to ice if you have Bolero. Hell Knight's done with Bongo now. That is Hell Knight now the third or the final race around restream to make it to... Oh, I didn't see Bongo had the butter knife. Oh well.
Don't need that.
Don't need it. Hell Knight picked it up anyway. But yeah, final race around restream to make it to 4 medallions and 2 stones. Meanwhile, oh, big chest here on Dead Hand, and it is the boomerang.
All right, we knew that was going to be there.
That was what
Where's
we expected,
our long shot?
I don't want to emphasize, actually, Barbu also picked up the Kokiri Sword.
Sidon, if it's in Jabu, the only check it could be on is Baronade at this point. And Dins is out in ice. Which Alex wasn't able to do earlier because Alex weep skipped and didn't have a bottle.
Yes, indeed.
Baseball, I'm kind of with you. HBA at this point would be a really, really funny choice for a long shot to be.
It would be pretty rude. Okay, so that like had nothing, so there's one last check left to do, basement, and to see if we have anything more than just, well, 2 checks. Lockpits has a big chest, and basement is another check we can do to see if we have anything more in here. Oh dear. Prescription.
Luckily, we already got
nothing.
a hint. Yeah, that's nothing. And Thunder, the reason that Alex skipped the fish was that we had a fountain to Baronade hint and knew where iron boots were, so we could do all of our fountain checks. The problem is that the item there was Mirror Shield. So that's why Alex made the call to skip the fish even without a bottle. Alex also did do ring chest.
All right. Barbu here on the way to Jabu. So you do your progression first, obviously. You just hope that that long shot is just hanging out in Jabu. After that, where do you go?
Oh, honestly, I say back to GTG. At this point, I think Silver Block Room is your best bet for where that long shot's gonna be.
Yeah, actually, that sounds reasonable.
Because we've got that boomerang, which means that we could get Eponas, which means that GTG has logically opened up to us now.
We could get Eponas, you say. Should we get Eponas? Just in case
Well,
it's not GTG, but horseback archery, as baseball so vehemently demands in chat.
Well, I am also with baseball because I do think horseback archery would be a really funny check. Yeah, I guess like Shannock's pointing out that you should also probably do frogs 1 before you age change. It's really a matter of how thorough do you want to be versus how aggressive do you want to be? Because I'd say the aggressive thing would be to rush over to GTG and do the Silver Block Room. If you want to be more thorough, check the rest of your Storm's Grottos. And Frogs 1.
Or at least get that horse out of the Temple of Time before you reverse back to GTG. I mean, you're gonna use Requiem anyway. Actually, there's no way you're not getting Epona.
Mm-hmm. Unless you have to do horseback archery.
No, I mean, there's no way you're not getting Epona because it's on Prelude. Oh no, never mind. It's in Burning Cack. I was wrong. I misread our hint list. Whoopsie. Well, yeah, I think you're still getting it.
Yeah, I think that if you have to like. Yeah, I'd say why not? Go ahead and get it. Especially with Nocturne, it's easy to get over there and just nab it. Okay, Toad is finally going to get his strength 2.
He's gonna be so mad.
He's gonna be so mad. Imagine that you are 2.5 hours into the seed and your strength 2 was just sitting on adult fishing the entire time.
That's, yeah. That's not the best kind of day you're having then, I think.
Ooh, big chest on Barbie's side.
And we get Goron Tunic. Let's quickly evaluate. That is very locked behind fire.
That is incredibly locked behind fire. So, yeah, as a reminder, Deku Tree, Path to Volvagia for a wallet, everyone. That was a thing we had this seed.
Yep, that existed. But yeah, hey, Toad now in possession of Strength 2.
Now can go do Spirit Temple and get storms.
That's the plan, I think.
Meanwhile, Alex is finally able to go to Shadow, and Hell Knight is almost done with Spirit. So, really, everyone is heading the right direction.
Yep. We're making progress here.
It is going to wind up being a long shot hunt, and who makes the call for where the long shot is? At this point, I think the long shot has to be all dungeons locked. Since all the checks we have left are either storms or Epona's locked. I can't... Well... Someone has to have checked Darunia by now, right? No, there's no way. There's no... Okay. Yeah, I can't think of any checks that are not all dungeons locked at this point. So yeah, that means that 2 of our dungeons, both Jabu and Water, wound up being locked behind all dungeons.
Yay. Very, very linear, very thorough seed this turned out to be.
Yeah, because we're not going to wind up needing all 3 strengths because outside Gan's Castle is one of our foolish locations. So, yeah, very, very thorough. We're going to have a well-lit up tracker by the end of this.
All green, or all gray in the case of Trek OT.
Yeah, so now that we're closing in on the end of this seed, what do you think is nearing on the final verdict? Obviously we still have to know where our long shot is, but how terrible do you think this seed is, Tobias?
Solid 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say an 8, because I think still having 2 dungeons to do at 2.5 hours and 1 major item that you're not 100% sure where it's at, that kind of sucks.
That being said, we are spoiled. I would just like to remind you of the olden times of Season 4 hours.
Oh, God.
That's kind of when I discovered OTR. Yes, I'm rather new to the community, but yeah, season 4 certainly had that
Yeah, I think I came in at either season 3 or season 4, and
Yeah.
I remember those days. I remember those 4-hour seeds.
Yeah. Like remember also that just the quality and the execution of the runners, of the top runners in this game has increased so much now that I mean, considering that we are now regularly doing all dungeon seeds in just a little bit over 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is humbling whenever you remember our roots, because I remember that back in the day,
Oh boy.
when I know old lady Sadie over here, but yeah, you could not see a all dungeon seed done in less than 3 hours, and usually in less than 3.5 hours.
Quick all dungeons was 3.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 hours is like standards for all dungeons. So, admittedly, we shouldn't complain about the bounty we have been given. You know, we had open Deku this time and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even need that butter knife.
For sure. Okay, so let's see. Is Morpha our answer? Is Morpha just gonna give us the long shot? Can it please? No, it's just gonna give us 50
No.
bucks. This is not that kind of seed, I know.
All right, everyone, it's a long shot hunt. Where do you think the long shot's going to be?
This is where I would really like TSG bot to have a bet command, but unfortunately it's not implemented
I
yet.
know. I do, admittedly, like, I think the funnest answer is horseback archery. I think the most likely answer is silver block room. I think the answer I would like, Stamina J, is also Kokiri Storm's Grotto, but I don't think it's going to be that.
So Barbu is choosing to go adult here. I don't blame him. All the other Storms checks are also available as adults, so going for density first here makes sense. I think you get Epona's song just before going to, just before playing Requiem and going and reversing back to GTG, just in case it might be on horseback archery. So I'm expecting to see Nocturne here. Yep, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna find out pretty quick if it's out in the GTG Gerudo Fortress area, or if we are checking the rest of our Storms Grottos. Or if we're going to Frogs 1. Frogs 1 would also be funny.
Sunsong Grave. That's a check.
Oh, Sunsong was out in ice.
Have we seen Sunsong Grave yet? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Nope, that ain't it.
Oh, thank God. That'd be so funny if it was just sitting right there.
For a given value of funny.
Yeah, I've said that a lot of things would be funny. That there are a lot of things to see that could have been really funny. This has been a really funny seed.
Indeed.
I still remember 2 hours ago when we thought it would be a jet, and we might be done at an hour 40.
Those were the days, my friend.
Those were the days, yeah. How time flies.
Indeed. Okay, Barbu here in Colossus, reversing back to GTG with Eponas in hand.
Yep, this is going to be clearing out the check density. If it's not here, it is either at the Kokiri Storm's Grotto, the DMT Storm's Grotto, or Frogs 1. Because I think those are the only options if it's not here at Gerudo Fortress or GTG.
I would also like to say Hell Knight solidly in second place on restream, I think.
Yeah, Hell Knight is doing really good. I'm going to be interested to see where he goes after Jabu, but doing really good. I also want to see if Hell Knight checks Frogs 1 while he's still child. Yeah, Barbu got Epona, but it's just quicker. A lot of people think that's quicker to reverse, and I think it is quicker if you're good at reversing. Which these runners are.
Like so. Yeah.
Like so.
Back into GTG we go. Actually,
Hi-ho,
Barbu's
hi-ho.
first visit to GTG.
Yes. Yes, I believe Toad did Valley.
Yep.
And
we
so
have
far,
seen Valley.
Toffle, there are 2 bottles that our route is locked that we know of for sure. Yes, we did do hammer blocks. Nothing's there.
Alright, Barbu is going to find some nice bait here. Oh, no, we're seeing HBA first. I like it, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, why not check it before going inside? Epona.
That's certainly a place to spawn Epona. Thanks, game. That's very reasonable and makes sense.
That
boy,
is sure a choice.
Wayfinding algorithms really have improved a lot in since OT.
Yeah. All right, baseball. Let's see if baseball gets everything they want.
We'll see.
Wow. That's some good firing, Barbu.
Yeah, good shot. Let's see. Bombs.
Nope.
And... Nope, HBA wasn't the answer. Time for
Sorry,
more
baseball. It's okay, baseball. I didn't get anything on Wasteland either, so...
And 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 6 seconds in, we have our first finisher.
Woo!
It is the Salty Sponge, finishing at 2:41.06. GG's.
Good job, Sponge. What do you think Barbu's finish time's gonna wind up being? Because I still think Barbu's gonna be the first one to finish on stream.
I agree. I think he's... I mean, he still has to do... or has to finish up water after this, so... 2:55.
3 hours?
Yeah, 2:55.
Yeah.
Between 2:55 and 3 hours. Oh boy. And we have a second finisher as well. Baseball, yeah, go ahead and post those finish times if you want. We have a second finisher, Mr. Mario, finishing in second place with a time of 2:41.37 seconds. So just 31 seconds after Sponge.
Tight.
Indeed.
Yeah,
that is
we are
not a
gonna
lot of
start
distance between
seeing
these two.
those rolling in. So unfortunately, because of the route Hell Knight took, Hell Knight didn't pass by frogs, so couldn't check them. We'll see if Hell Knight decides to do that before going back adult, depending on whether or not Barbu finds the long shot here in G2G.
I don't expect him to, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just going to be Strength 2 locked here in GTG? We'll see. In a moment.
Yeah, we're going to find out pretty quick. Simultaneous Temple of Time run for Alex and Toad, who miraculously finished their 2 dungeons at roughly the same time.
These two are dead even right now.
Yeah, which is gonna make this a little intense.
Big chest. Lock shot!
There it is.
That's go mode for Barbu.
Yes, we now have all the pieces we need to finish up this seed.
Yeah, let's be done with this. Logically locked behind the fire strength, says Shannock.
Yeah. Yeah, that means that Fire Temple strength was our logical strength. It is very lucky for Toad that he decided to go to GTG out of logic to get that strength.
Indeed. Okay, both of them now have their Song of Storms. I don't expect either of them to go for the low density place, to go for Kokiri Forest first. And Toad is immediately calling me a liar.
Yeah, Toad's like, oh, you don't want me to check the Kokiri Forest Grotto. Okay. And then goes and does it immediately.
Yeah, sure. Right, Barbu has not set foot in Water Temple yet, so this is going to be interesting to see how the direction he takes. I'm guessing he's going to do this little tower here and then head for Bosky.
Yeah.
Which is Bosky.
Yeah, which would be the right move to make today. And Alex checking frogs. Not going to be it, but... I love that neither Alex nor Toad went for the check dense area and both decided to do a fringe storms check. I appreciate that.
I'm guessing with the first finishes rolling in, and with, I mean, their own picture of what they still need to do, they just think, well, I guess I'll make a play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a hard call whenever the finishes start to roll in on how hard you try to metagame it based on that.
Toad, another player who chose not to save before the boss key loop here, is going to get rewarded. Boss key, safe warp, and Sorry, I called out Toad. I meant Barbu. But yeah, never mind. We are indeed seeing all other Storms checks before Well on Toad's side, I think.
Yeah, Alex is going to be first one into Well out of the two of them. And Hell Knight's probably going to be pretty quickly in Well after finishing Jabu.
That's to be expected, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which means I do think that Hell Knight's going to be our second finisher on stream.
I agree. That's pretty likely at this point. We do appreciate Frogs in the Rain being checked. Happy Froggos. And Toad is now headed into the well as well. Ah, Barbu just lost his grasp on Morpha here. Has to re-catch the amoeba.
Oof. Yeah, come on, Morpha. Come on, there we go. All right, and that's Morpha down for Barbu and almost Baronade down for Hell Knight. Yep, so we might have triple well here soon.
Well.
Oh, well.
And there is a third finisher. This is, you know, once the seeds start looking like Season 3 seeds with open Deku and such, guess who's at the top? Congratulations to What the Hell's Happened, finishing third in 2:50:42. I mean, honestly, it is very shocking not to see Sponge, Mario, and What the Hell's Happened at the very top of any race, to be quite honest.
Yeah, if those three are competing, you can expect they're going to place quite high.
Yep.
And Barbu is going to be our first one across the Rainbow Bridge and into Ganon's castle.
Yeah, and Barbu is so friggin' close to tracker percent.
Yeah, missing those gold gauntlets and also missing Furore's Wind.
And the gold scale.
And the gold scale, yes. All right, and Hell Knight, sure enough, is heading out to GTG, going to get that long shot here in just a little bit. Hell Knight already dipped into water, right? So Hell Knight, because Hell Knight's one of the ones that got the boss key.
I think he is, yeah. So this should be a quick in and out for him. So maybe 5 minutes after Barbu.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just gonna be Toad and Alex. Which Alex got the boomerang and is now gonna be able to go do Jabu. And hey, we have a fourth finisher.
Say. In fourth
With a time
place.
of 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Yep, another one of those people that you are shocked. I mean, shocked. Well, not that shocked. To see at the very top of the leaderboard here. But yeah, that's our top 4 for this race. Barbu close behind, actually. Will definitely sub 3 this, unless something catastrophic happens, which we obviously don't hope for.
Yeah, might even be able to make it into top 5, unless they get sniped in the next 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Oh. Whoops.
And there goes Volk completing the top 5 with 254.16.
They're still top 10.
There is indeed still top 10.
I should stop saying things that'll jinx our runners, because next thing you know, we're going to get 5 people finishing, like, rapidly.
Just an avalanche of finishes, just right now. The great thing is, though, it doesn't matter, it's a qual. Like, your scores are based on time. Scoring algorithm roughly is, the top 7 are averaged as a benchmark time, and that benchmark time is 1,000 points, and depending on your finish time, you get more or less qualifier points based on that benchmark. So
yeah, I always have very much appreciated that system. It seems very, very logical and very fair as far as ranking everyone. And there's our 6th place finish with Alexis at a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 36 seconds. Another one that I would be shocked to not see in top 10.
and that is Ganon down for Barbu, but he gets sniped by Yo-Yo Ocarina, finishing in 7th place with a time of 2:56.26.
Sniped by seconds.
GG's to Yo-Yo, obviously, and there is Barbu's finish. Get your GG's in chat for a first runner on restream, finishing with a time of 2 hours, 56 minutes, and 43 seconds. That was certainly a seed.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm so glad I was not playing this one.
You hope for a jet, you hope for a quick finish, and then Seed's
and then the seed just unfolds, and the more and more it goes, the worse and worse you realize it is. See, I like seeds where you know it's a disaster in the first, like, 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's helpful. Then you at least know what you're getting yourself into. But no, this seed lets you work for the knowledge that it's all dungeons. We'll put it that way.
That's one way to put it. You definitely have to work for it. Frogs, I am not. I am saving my energy for whenever Triforce Blitz happens next year sometime. Because honestly, I am not a fan of Standard. They are too long for me. I'm gonna be bad, baseball. I just want everyone to, if nobody saw my match against Dastar, I want you to know it's gonna be more of that. Just hopefully a better GTG next time.
There's always room for improvement, is what I'm gonna say.
Always room.
Yeah, the finishes are rolling in thick and fast now. After Barbu finishes... rapidly. We have Osuna, Ikola, rounding out the top 10 with 257 and 257.31 and 257.37, respectively. And then after that we have Exodus and Louis Ferns in places 11 and 12. 258.32 and 258.44. The snipes in this race are out of this world. Barbu, unfortunately, will not join us for an interview. But yeah, obviously, thank you, Barbu, for putting on a great show for us, and we hope to see you soon here again.
Yes, thank you, Barbu. I wonder if Hell Knight will come in for an interview.
You think?
I'm not sure. No, we'll probably get Hell Knight in here.
I think we're gonna have trouble keeping him out of here. Is what I'm. And
yeah,
lucky number 13, Czech Race finishing just in time to make it past the 3-hour mark through 2 hours 59 seconds and 2 hours 59 minutes and 52 seconds.
Yeah, and we're gonna have Alex almost done with Baronade. So hopefully Alex and Toad will be wrapping up in the next 10-15 minutes.
I think both of them did water as well, right?
Toad definitely dipped into water. I'm not sure about Alex. I think Alex did.
Both of them still need long shot though.
They do, but I will be surprised if they don't go out to GTG, like, immediately. And that's Daredevil X coming in 14th place with a time of 3 hours, 1 minute, and 5 seconds.
First German on the list, I think.
Yeah, and Drunas came in 15th place at 3 hours, 1 minute, and 23 seconds. And Marco Lion, 64, coming in 16th place with a time of 3 hours, 1 minute, and 27 seconds.
That is 4 seconds between these two. Good grief.
Yeah. Yeah, they are super coming in now. Also, Barbu in chat, thank you so much for being on Restream. It was fantastic to watch you.
Yeah, Barbu, if you have any thoughts you want to share about the seed, any opinions, anything that was particularly annoying to you or that made you particularly happy, let us know.
Rate this seed on a scale of 1 to 10, because we've got our opinions about it, and we were just watching from the commentator booth. But it seemed pretty awful.
Yes, indeed, and finishes continue rolling in. We have Tanjo, Zeph, and Sauceballs all finishing pretty.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is baseball. Just completely threw me off there.
baseball, you broke Tobias.
Yeah, you did.
Way to go, baseball.
Malfunction.
Oh well, we
needs
got
reboot. Yeah.
we got Hell Knight coming up on Ganon. Alex is checking some grottos. Hopefully goes GTG right now.
That'd be great, yeah.
Hey, Barbu also said an 8 out of 10. We also said it was an 8 out of 10. And yeah, that last like hour was rough.
Yo, T making top 20, awesome. Team Grenadier finishing in 20th place with a time of 3:03:49. All right, and that is our top 20. So, as I said before, top 7 are average for the benchmark time. Unfortunately, Sponge and Mario are kind of ruining the benchmark for everyone here.
Yeah.
Gonna cost everyone else some points, but yeah, that's why it's an average though. That's why why the benchmark time isn't just, oh, the top runner has finished in this time. Guess we're gonna use that as our benchmark now.
Although not running it by a significant amount. They finished 9 minutes ahead of what the hell's.
Yeah, that's true.
And that means that our top 7 all finished within 15 minutes of each other. Wait, Toad? Toad!
Oh dear. Toad is heading into fire. Meanwhile, Alex is headed into GTG here.
Going to do horseback archery first.
Good plan.
Man, how do you think Toad's gonna feel when he finds strike 3?
Not happy?
No.
I think he might be slightly mad.
But hopefully that's gonna be what Toad needs to realize that you need to just go to GTG and go to the silver block room. Yeah, Shannock, the hope is that Toad's gonna realize that strength in GTG was not the one he was supposed to find.
Oh, Alex slightly off his rhythm here. And no longer has a chance to to hit HPA 1500.
Alright, Hell Knight is about done with Ganon.
Yep, just needs his Master Sword back, and then will be our second finisher on restream.
I think Toad picked up Goron Tunic in Jabu. I think Toad just really doesn't believe that wallet is path.
You don't want to believe it. But yeah, this is Hell Knight finishing in 24th place, I think. So get your GGs in chat for a second finisher on restream. Finishing with a time of 3:08:06, 3 hours, 8 minutes, 6 seconds. GGs.
And there's Alex getting some gold gauntlets.
Unfortunately, not exactly required for him, but he's on the right track. He's gonna find that that item pretty damn soon.
Yeah, Alex is gonna see that there's nothing in the maze and then probably book it over to silver blocks.
Curse you, cult off. I guess Hell Knight's file name was some reference that we missed in the beginning, because I'm guessing it's a reference to his Cult of the Lamb cult. All right. And yes, Toad, that is a big chest.
Oh boy.
It's not a big chest that's gonna make you happy.
Oh, nope. Yep, I saw the shield flicks.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
Angry shield flicks.
Come on, Toad, put it together. Put it together.
Got this.
Silver block room.
Oh, he's playing Requiem. He's going the right way.
Yep. Yep. This is gonna be a reverse to GTG. I hope Toad comes in for an interview because I'm going to be interested in asking about his experience with this, especially with those the progression of those strengths and finding those strengths.
We'll see if he does.
We'll see. I also would not blame him if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, sometimes he just tilted enough that isn't really in the cards.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a seed that I can definitely see tilting some people.
Alright, Hell Knight will join us for an interview in a moment. Just needs to take care of business before that.
Hooray. And Alex is almost to the silver block room.
He shall find his go mode post haste. And newly minted race moderator and Triforce Blitz veteran Natherian finishing in 29th place. Time of 3:11:15. Good job, Natherian.
Woohoo!
Also, I almost missed Brot in der Dose, finishing in 25th place. 3:08:53, rounding out the German contingent, I think. And there's your long shot, Alex. Go forth and beat up that amoeba.
Let's go!
And Toad, not too far behind here. amazingly, after he and Alex were almost frame by frame identical after some point, at some point, and had diverged pretty heavily, Toad has almost caught back up to Alex here. And I think both of them have actually been to Water Temple before, so both of them should be able to finish this really quickly.
Pretty quick, yeah.
Turns out Alex does need to do a little bit more of water than Toad does, so I think Toad just pulled ahead here.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, it's been interesting watching Toad and Alex's back and forth. I mentioned earlier that like each of them had a different dungeon to get done. Because Toad had to go do Spirit, Alex had to go do Shadow. And somehow them getting out of those two dungeons at the same time have made at least on restream this a pretty tight finish.
Yes, indeed. And this is Tenacious Toad just done with Morpha. Meanwhile, Alexander Harrold is has just pulled the amoeba out of the water. And Toad has pulled ahead of Alex here. So we'll see. This is as close to a photo finish as you will get on restream, honestly.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. All of our runners have been fantastic today. This, like we said, this was a nasty seed. For what appeared to be a really jetty seed, and instead it was horrible. So props to everyone who endured this seed and finished it up. Speaking of which, GG's Hell Knight.
Is he gonna speak? Who knows?
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
Hi. Good evening, Hell Knight. What are your thoughts on this seed?
Oh, surprise our dungeon, huh?
Yeah.
Surprise all dungeon.
Yeah. Only way to know is our dungeon is to check everything.
Yeah. We thought about 40 minutes in.
No, the moment you get your shit, you know it's our dungeon.
Exactly. That's when we knew. But we thought about 40 minutes in that it is a total jet. We had we had 2 unfulfilled paths to the 2 missing dungeons, and or for 2 missing items for these 2 dungeons. We were just thinking, wow, if these paths are actually simple, and it's just the like the long shot and the boomerang on in these path locations, then we're looking at something like a 130, 140 first finish. But no, that wasn't the case.
My biggest problem was I couldn't really decide how to route load of this. So,
Okay.
so I went to Ice Cavern.
Not a bad choice.
On. No, I went to Zora's Fountain knowing I could not do Ice Cavern to see where exactly if the boomerang was there, in the hopes of that as child I could just immediately finish a Jabu with it. Which was the reason I didn't go back to which was the reason I didn't go back to Ice Cavern earlier to find the long shot there. No, Din's fire there.
I see. So that kind of pushed back Ice Cavern for you until you had until you had very little other options, right?
Basically the last thing for me to check besides 20 and Desert Colossus Fairy.
Mm-hmm. So looking back, what other choices would you have made, or could you have made there?
At what point?
I mean, when you...
I was thinking at the beginning when you got like the wallet to do a reverse waste and to get some truth. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, my god, that hammer logic was so...
Hammer locked basically everything. It locked all 3 bows.
Yeah, because Hammer had to lock the bows.
Yeah,
because
the bomb bags.
Was bomb bag on archery, yes.
It was Volvagia Heart Piece, it was Hyrule Castle Fairy, and it was Kak Archery, yes.
Yeah, so Kak Archery was the one I got. Hey, thanks for the ways, Kishin.
Oh hey, yeah, Okishi rating with a viewer count of 8. Hi folks, welcome in. We are just finishing up here in GG's. And GG's on your finish.
I guess there were so many ways people could get fucked up in the seed. For example, like the wallet. You could have made the argument to get out of Fire Temple the moment you find the wallet.
Yeah, we were thinking actually
on Zero Gauntlet.
Especially,
especially
because we had a hint. Because we had a hint for Central Pillar at that point, right? So
yeah.
At that point, you're thinking, "Oh my God, is it just 2 path wallets this seed?"
I mean, it might both hint at the strength. I mean, I never. Did I get the Zora tunic? I'm not 100% sure.
We haven't seen a Zora tunic on restream, no.
But I see both Toad and Alex have 3rd strength.
Yes.
Yes. In GT, one of them's in GTG, one of them's in the Fire Compass chest, and one of them was on Adult Fishing.
Oh my god, so you could have, so once you have that, so if you had found, one second, where was the first strength? First strength was...
logical first must have been Adult Fishing.
Yeah, Adult Fishing. Which might have tripped up some people.
Yeah. Quick break here to say Alex just got sniped by his own brother. Alpha Mario, Lee Harrold has just finished in 42nd place with a time of 3:21.17.
I always forget that Alpha Mario is Lee Harrold.
Yeah.
So if you had one of the other 2 strengths, you could have reversed and then go to GTG. Get where exactly was it in GTG? Was it
Bimos?
Okay, so you could have gone back there with the bomb shoe. Before you even got the bomb back, just would have needed bow and bomb shoe, and then you could have gotten second strength, and then do like a hookshot GTG, and then get long shot, which would tell you a lot about the seed.
Yeah, but that would mess. I mean, at that point, you're just committed to completely not caring about logic anymore, right?
I mean, yeah, or otherwise you at this point you know that the Epona song is locking a long shot, so you can also exclude a lot of stuff. Depending on whatever the item is you end up missing at the end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at that point, you know that where in the seed the item needs to be. Anyway, GG's to Tenacious Toad, finishing in 49th place, 3:23:26, and in between the two runners on Restream that have been finishing so close to one another, Toad and Alex. There were 3 other finishes. All You Can Eat, 3:23:26. Death King the Second, 3:23:46. Blue Guy, 3:23:54. And finally, Alex Harrold with a time of 3:24:06. Wow! Yeah, but that's it. Those were our restreamed runners. Let's see if some of them want to join us for a quick interview as well. I'll ping him in Discord. Meanwhile, Sadie, you're gonna have to keep peppering Hell Knight with questions.
Yeah, I can totally do that. Although I feel like you've hit sort of the big highlights. Yeah, I guess like Hell Knight, this question I've been asking everyone is scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate this seed, especially compared to other qualifiers that you've done so far? Because the settings right off the bat made this look like it was going to be very easy.
Yeah, I wasn't too much a fan of the settings, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm Arzal main, or I want more peppy settings.
Yeah. I
I
can
want
agree with
some
that.
I want some dungeon skulls. I want some stuff that some other ones might not be that used to.
Yeah, something a little bit more spicy or something a little more fun. By the way, GG's, Alex, welcome in.
GG's. Cursed Seed, literally 2 checks left in the game.
Oh,
really?
So Alex, scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank that seed as far as how terrible it is?
AD wasn't bad, long shot was.
Yeah.
So 7.
7 to 8 seems to be the standard that we're getting.
I would give
Yeah,
it a
that
6.5. So in answer to your question.
all right. Yeah, so definitely above average annoying.
Yeah,
What were
because the
your
boomerang was actually not that bad, to be perfectly honest. As soon as I thought it was Mirror Shield, it's like, oh, it's AD 100%. But long shot was bad, actually bad.
Yeah, trying to suss that out with absolutely no information to go on. It could have been in a worse spot.
You know what's the
But
worst part of it? That wallet was also probably pathed just for water boss key.
oh yeah, we by our estimations, we basically had a double wallet path.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
The
but
one
wait.
in
Did
the
you
one
need
in
to
fire
turn
was
in the
one.
letter for
yes,
ice
you
cover?
needed to. I
Yes.
think all 3
Oh.
other bottles were letter locked.
Screw
Yes.
that.
I think so. They think the last one is on shooting pose or like the eye statue.
Shooting.
Because
Oh
I've
my
done
god!
every other. Because I've
Was-
done every other check in the game.
I was trying to do that out of logic, but didn't have chance with the Poe.
Yeah, every single bottle we saw on stream, all of them were bottle locked. So you had to get Ruto's letter before you could even think about doing Ice Cavern.
Yep. I was like, oh, sweet, Ice Cavern. Obviously, it's going to be the boomerang. I can just skedaddle out of here. Nope.
That's what you thought.
Nope. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think you were actually the last one to get your Ruto's letter. And
I was
we
just
were
getting
nervous.
dungeon progression. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that was what was interesting, was that every single person on stream went a different route. There was a little bit of overlapping, but all y'all were all over the place. I don't think that there was a good optimal route for anything in this seed other than go where the items are.
Yeah. That was awful. I mean, the long shot was awful. Boomerang was okay. I mean, it would have been better if it was just in Fountain, but at least it was a mirror shield and not Din's fire.
Yeah, it would have sucked if it was basically trying to hunt down where a mirror shield was at, in addition to hunting down where the long shot was at.
And Din's. That's why I did so many checks. Like, I wasted so much time looking for those because I knew, well, I know AD is probably in Logic at some point. Yeah, the seed was annoying as hell.
Understandable.
I started off really nice too. It's like, sweet. I get like 4 dungeons before like the 2-hour mark almost.
Yeah.
And it's like in water, it's like, oh, obviously it's gonna be like vanilla or French vanilla hook shot. Like from my perspective, seeing the keys is like, oh, well, not the keys, but like the fact that there's a wallet path, like, oh, it's gotta be that, right? Right? Nope. At least my boss fights were clean this time around.
They were
Not a
indeed.
single bad one. And I got that backflip in ice, so I'm satisfied. Getting it back to that platform is a pain.
Yeah, you
That
got
is
major.
like the 3rd time. That was the 3rd time I've ever done that.
Yeah, you got major style points for that one, and yeah, GG's. I think that just about wraps us up here, right?
Yeah, I
I
don't have
think
much to say.
so.
In that case, one last shout out to everyone who made this restream possible. Thank you to Tenacious Toad, Alexander Harrold, Hell Knight, and Barbu for putting on a heck of a show for us tonight. Thanks to Sidon, Baseball, Shenak, and Veva for making sure we knew what the heck was going on in this seed. Thank you to you all for watching, and obviously thank you to Sadie for joining me on commentary today.
And thank you, Tobias, for being my co-commentator and restreamer for today's match.